Hello everyone, I'm James Tryon, and today we're going to be covering user profiles with WordPress and LearnDash. As I said, I'm James Tryon, the LearnDash training specialist. I've been using WordPress since 2007. I'm one of the organizers of WordCamp Orlando. I help run Wapoos, which is the mascot of WordPress. I have 3 kids, and you'll probably hear them downstairs. You can reach me at James Tryon on Twitter, or you can find me in the Facebook group at James Tryon. Any links or anything we talk about today are not affiliated. They're from the use of my own personal experience and tools that I like to use or based off user feedback. There isn't any affiliate links in what I'm sharing, but there is some free options, but a lot of what I'm offering or reviewing today, does cost some premium. There is definitely a couple premium plugins, but they're going to make your life way easier, and they're worth the $150 or so they might come with. So let's go over what we actually have. And today what we'll be covering is setting up the basic My Account page in LearnDash, reviewing Gravatar and why LearnDash leverages it, how to extend the front-end profile editing, tips for better user experience, and then audience Q&A. Feel free to ask any questions as we go. But also, like I said, I am going to be reviewing and giving the presentation simultaneously. So I will try my best to follow along and answer what I can. Moving some windows around for a second. So to continue on where we from last time, I would definitely recommend checking out our user registration webinars. We have one from a couple months ago that's great. And then we have one from 2 weeks ago that goes into a little bit more detail on some options and different avenues to set up your user registration. We will be continuing from there and leveraging some of those or any of those features. So if you checked out those past 2 webinars, I think we'll be able to continue right along with where we are here. And if you haven't followed along on our YouTube channel, I highly recommend subscribing there. Any tips, videos, webinars, everything that's recorded and created for you is released there. We also try to post it into the Facebook group as we make everything as well. So let's talk about the My Account area. The My Account area is lots of things. Like, what is its purpose? What does it do? What is its job? How does it help your users? Let's think about that for a second. It's the home base for your users when they're logged in. It's more than just, okay, I'm logged in, let's get started. It's sort of like the first thing they do. It should really help them extend their user experience, their learning process. It should help them learn about what you're doing and extending your course. I was talking with some other LearnDash users yesterday, and we were having a conversation about what is the My Account. And we came to the conclusion that the My Account really is a dashboard. It's a logged in user's dashboard, a jumping off area to help them navigate your course, your site, and everything else they need. So once I actually was thinking about that, I was like, you're right. Not only is your dashboard where you can go and check your courses, but as far as a user goes, and I don't want to ruin too much of my slide deck because I wasn't fully prepared, but like the power that your My Account area has once you actually start thinking about it as a dashboard, it's a very strong and powerful tool. Not only do you have the ability to see your courses, but now you have the ability to talk directly to your users, keep them updated with information, maybe maintenance that's happening or site-wide assignments, depending on how you're actually selling your courses. Not only that, you could use it as a great way to upsell your courses. anything that's new that's coming out, showcasing, add a nice little widget area at the at the bottom of your profile that says upcoming courses or new courses or enrollment dates happening for the next semester, depending on how you're selling your courses. So the My Account area can become very powerful. And we'll get into actually how to set it up momentarily. But some of the really nice extensions or ideas that you can use to leverage the My Accounts area would be like adding widgets that show your current courses. Like we already have the courses. I don't mean widgets for courses. I mean widgets for certifications that you've already had, widgets for any quizzes that you've taken, widgets for scores. You can use buttons to pick up where you're left off, so you can encourage your users to continue on when they log back in. And a couple of those things that I mentioned, I would definitely recommend using the Uncanny Owl LearnDash Toolkit. There's a free and premium version. Most of what I just said is actually in their free version. And on top of that, you have extra features too. And lots of different plugins will give you different areas to handle this. Like in our last webinar, we talked about membership options. You can use a membership plugin to sign up, and same thing with WooCommerce. One of my favorite ways to handle registration is just leverage WooCommerce. But once you leverage WooCommerce, you also get a My Account area. So you're also leveraging that. Being able to take what you currently have and extend that just a little bit more and allow your users to be able to see what they're doing and not have to go back to the admin is a very powerful tool. And I guess we should actually talk about that too. So let's come back to some of these and let's talk about how LearnDash actually handles their user avatars. So this might come up a lot in the group, and you hear a lot of users ask, I can't find how to change my user avatar. How do I upload a profile picture? I have no idea how to change my avatar. Well, just like our user registration system in our email system and our comment system, that's all core WordPress. LearnDash at its heart is a learning management system that's meant to work with your infrastructure. It's meant to sit on top of what you're doing and work along with your process. So if you don't have a process, it can seem a little daunting at first. Since we try to leverage WordPress as much as possible, we're then leveraging the actual Gravatar. Gravatar is a third-party service that's owned by Automatic. It's a company. It's a tool that's free to use. That's like a service for all all WordPress sites. And since WordPress is about 38% of the internet right now, if you actually have a Gravatar account, chances are anywhere you comment or leave a message, your profile picture is going to show up. So if you are integrated into the WordPress ecosystem and you do have a Gravatar, that's going to show up and it's just going to work automatically, and it's kind of nice. But for someone who doesn't know, that can be very confusing and you're not sure how to handle that. So we'll go over our ways to extend that itself. I don't think I actually got that. Yeah, well, this is as far as I got in this in that slide. But there's a couple options here, and we'll come back to this. But I do have the website open, so I want to show some of these options. So let's go to check out Gravatar for a second, so everyone can see what Gravatar looks like. This is Gravatar. You would go here, sign up. You can add multiple email addresses. I think I have like 10 email addresses for different profiles, different names, different businesses. And whenever I use them, my avatar automatically gets added there. You would have to send your users here to create an avatar. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. I think if you already have it, it's a great idea. If you don't have it, I would not get rid of this feature, but I would not direct your users away. What I would probably leverage is something like this. It's called WP User Avatar or User Profile Pictures. This will allow you to edit the front end, edit your profile picture from your admin site, from your WordPress site itself without leaving. You can still leverage Gravatar, and then use this on top of that. Then you can add shortcodes and different features into your theme to be able to modify this as needed, leverage it anywhere else you would show your avatar. It's going to work anywhere the normal avatar would work by default, just by enabling it. It's on about 400,000 sites. It was updated about 2 months ago with over a 4.5 star rating. So it's definitely a plugin I would trust. I've used it on a couple projects. I would recommend using this. Now, there is other options, and we'll go into it a little later, but there is completely standalone options, plugin builders, profile builders. Two to start off with would be Profile Builder Pro, and I think it's WP Everest has one. They're both decent, and in fact, WP Everest actually has direct LearnDash integration as well. Both of them offer complete standalone registrations. We talked about them a little bit in the last webinar, but the nice thing about complete standalone registration systems like WP Everest and Profile Builder Pro is they give you the ability to upload your profile image too. And on top of being able to upload your profile image, you actually get the ability to edit your entire profile too. So you get the ability to have a edit profile on the front end. So you're not sending your user to the admin. Now you can handle this multiple different ways, like we said earlier with WooCommerce, a standalone plugin like this. I've made several versions myself using advanced custom fields, and I really enjoy using gravity forms for this as well. So it really depends on how fancy or how far you want to go. But the longer I've been making websites, to think I can just spend $150 and get the page builder or the WP Everest, and it's going to do everything I need without coding, without thinking about if it's going to work or not, without worrying too much about all the development or building it myself that's going to take hours to do it. I can use one of these premium plugins and have it handled for me pretty quickly. I don't really like always recommending a $150 plugin, especially when LearnDash is already around there. These are both good plugins. Gravity Forms is also a good plugin. There's also other options too. If you happen to use a page builder, all page builders are going to have their own version of this to an extent. So if you've already invested in Elementor or Beaver Builder, you can then leverage their registration form profile fields too. I'm not sure if Divi or WP Baker has this, and there's probably a premium block for Gutenberg, but there is not a default block for Gutenberg. However, there is the ability to embed forms, embed logins, and if you can embed a login, you can probably embed the default WordPress user registration form through Gutenberg. So you can leverage your page builders themselves. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, let's go back to the Gravatar stuff for a second. There's some pros and cons here. Like I said, we have I would never not support Gravatar because you get all the benefit of that. But there is one other option that I would probably look at, and that is Login Press. Well, you don't have to use Login Press. The reason I said Login Press, what I meant to say is social login, and the plugin Login Press offers social login. But if you happen to use some type of social login plugin, allowing someone to log in with Facebook or Google or LinkedIn even, you're going to pull in their profile picture as well. So you can bypass all of the Gravatar stuff by allowing someone to sign up or log in with a social media login. And the one that I have used in the past is Login Press. There is others out there, but I would try them. There's lots of them. We can look into more specific ones if someone would like, but I've used that, and I've learned a standalone tool where you've actually had to embed the SAML or the OAuth setup, and it's worked. It's a lot more setup and a lot more configuration. It took me probably a half day to do it, or you can buy something like Login Press that handles it as well. Now, I have not used Login Press in a year or so, but if you do use Login Press, you get the added bonus of being able to theme all your default login pages. And I think it does a couple other nice features. And then you don't have to have multiple plugins to handle all that. So, that's something to think about. And again, any of your membership plugins like Paid Membership Pro or MemberPress or Membarium, and any of those things, they're probably also going to have a user avatar feature there. So it really depends on your setup, on how you're planning on setting that up. So now that we have the understanding that we don't actually control that, we're just leveraging that feature, and there's lots of ways to extend it. Let's think about the user dashboard as a whole again. Now that we've understand that we can extend it through added features and plugins, and we've talked about different things we can do to make our dashboard a little bit more usable. Let's talk about how we would actually accomplish that. One of those things would be, let me pull it up because I want to give everyone a fair shot. Now, again, none of the links that I'm sharing are affiliate links, and they're open to everyone, and I highly recommend what we're sharing, but there is no back and forth between here. This is from my personal opinion. What I really like about the Uncanny Toolkit for LearnDash, and we want to be careful about how many plugins you do install and what they're all doing. I don't personally think there's an issue installing a tremendous amount of plugins if they all have very specific reasons, and they're not conflicting with each other. None of them are too heavy. You can have one bad plugin and it ruins it for all of them, or you can have 100 lightweight plugins that do one thing and they're all fine. So again, this is nothing against this plugin, but plugins that do a lot, or suites that do a lot, you'll find out that they start to overlap. So you would definitely want to maybe make a pro-cons list of the plugins you're looking at to see which ones they do, and then maybe pick the one that works best for you versus having two that heavily overlap, just to avoid potential conflict. I'm not saying anything directly about Uncanny LearnDash. This is just in general. But a couple of things that they offer is front-end login. So you don't have to go to WP login. Just like our modal we have for the LearnDash pop-up, they have a version of that. You can hide the WordPress admin bar at the top, so subscribers don't see the WordPress black bar at the very top of the screen. You have the ability to have a resume button. So earlier when I said, I would include a resume button to enhance my account page, this is how I would do it. I would add the Uncanny plugin, and I would add their buttons to the page to allow for continuation. And I would always encourage my users to continue on where they left off. Again, so I would use this and leverage this plugin and a couple other things they have. Some of the other ones they have, let's see where it is. Or they might be in their premium version, but there's some. Yeah, here we go. It's not on their premium. It's the certification widgets, and it also shows the groups you're in. So you can add, in addition to just showing your courses, you can use their additional widgets in your My Account area, and you can showcase any current certifications that's earned, any groups they're a part of, any forums they're a part of. Something else I wanted to mention, and I might have a screenshot of it, or let me take a quick look. No, I won't bother. Is you can turn your My Accounts area into like a dashboard like we're talking, but a couple little areas you might want to think about is a way for someone to get help, like a quick link to support or contact, how to know what's the next best steps. Let's say you have some bonus content or some extra downloads or resource area. You can showcase it there. So let's say you're using LearnDash and you're using our groups memberships feature. So you're hiding content from the rest of your users or non-logged in users. You can then make a special area in the My Accounts page using any of your page builders or shortcodes or whatever form you want to extend your editing in. It can literally just be a link, but you can then use that area to link to your resources, so that thing that you're hiding from everyone else is now has its home as a place. You can link out to that. I highly recommend linking to any of your documentation or anything like that, along with a link to the forum. So really leveraging your My Accounts area into a dashboard. Uh, Lately, we've been trying to do more live sessions. Last week we did one, and it would happen to be at the same time. Facebook was having issues, so we were only able to get it live streaming for about 35 minutes at a time. But we were working on user registration. In the next live stream next week, what we're planning on doing is building out the My Accounts page. So we're going to be taking some of these plugins and extending the My Accounts function, adding some of these widgets in, maybe playing with Elementor, rearranging it a little bit, and actually having some more hands-on fun with the My Accounts page. We'll probably play with that for about an hour. Probably, I'm not sure the exact date. It's probably Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday next week. We'll be doing it for an hour. It'll probably be posted, even though it'll be live, it'll probably be posted through Zoom or something, because of going directly through Facebook. We found it was not as stable, but there is a 7-second delay. So feel free, once we post it, to join and join the source, so there isn't a delay. And we will be going over how to leverage and actually building out some My Accounts pages next week. So we'll continue on. I'm reviewing my notes. So let's see what we have here. One thing I would highly recommend, and I'll go back to our slides. I left these in from last week. We use this plugin. It's extending the basic registration system for WordPress. So in case you're not using anything else, you want a free version of a plugin that just lets you pick your username and your password. You can add this plugin, and it lets you it'll let users automatically log in. I deleted the settings, but this lets them pick their usernames, and you can extend it a lot, but you need to be careful on what you actually extend. I would watch the last webinar. We go into more detail on this, but based off our pop-up doesn't stretch, doesn't grow right. It can cause issues with viewing if you enable too many of the options. But the nice thing about this plugin is it will automatically automatically log in your users once they're logged in. So they sign up, they automatically log into the admin. And I believe it also does a redirect. So does the Uncanny LearnDash Toolkit, and so does most other membership plugins. So what I would recommend doing is, instead of just having your user log in and go to the admin as the default feature, or log in and just going to the homepage, our pop-up would actually, just so everyone's clear, the LearnDash pop-up is a login pop-up that logs you into the page that you're on. So it really is just, you trigger it, you log in, it's refreshing that page. If you go to the login, it's going to log in and then direct you to the admin. So I would set up a redirect. I would use, or the actual redirect plugin. There's a couple redirect plugins in the repo. They all have hundreds of thousands of active installs. I would use one of those, and I would set up if your membership plugin or user registration plugin doesn't offer it, just set up a redirect. So on login, send them back to the My Accounts page. But again, any of your membership registration plugins will offer it. And same thing, I would also on logout, I would probably redirect your users to an upsell course page. So if you're still selling, if you're actually selling something, instead of instead of some type of like mandated class or some type of part of a larger program, on log out, redirect them to a upsell page, or let them know what's going on or new features. You help them, you limit that confusion. Your goal here to what you're actually doing and trying to accomplish is you're trying to make it as easy as possible for your users to understand and use your course, feel like they're being helped, feel like they understand what's going on. You want to make sure they never feel lost when they're working and developing this for you. I'm looking for one more thing I wanted to talk about that was pretty important. And the main thing too is your course on your website doesn't need to be beautiful, right? It needs to be nice and easy to use, but it doesn't need to be award-winning, and it doesn't need to be amazing and perfect in every browser. But try to be helpful to your users. If you were a user and trying to use your course, what would you need? What are you missing? Is there clear instructions? When I'm logged in, am I lost? Am I overwhelmed? Or do I know what I need to do? So thinking about it that way, you can go in and you can set up your redirects. Um, you can make sure that when someone logs in, there's a clear call to action at the top of the My Accounts page. They can see their courses that they're involved in. They can have their resume button if they need it. Uh, there's what I would make sure that every basic account page has is the basic user information, so they know it's theirs, their name, their avatar if you have it, the courses they're enrolled in, any progress they're currently in. I would make sure that we're looking at the quizzes that they're currently have taken, any of the quizzes that they haven't finished, and any certifications that they've earned. And I would make sure that those are all in their dashboard versus the default dashboard. So the default dashboard, let's pull that up. So if anyone, I did want to talk about the processes of signing up. So if you are not using the Astra LearnDash Academy theme import, you're going to have to set up a My Accounts page. So once you first set up LearnDash, you install all your courses. You're going to have to use a block or a widget to actually install the My Profile link. Now, if you're using Gutenberg or the old editor, we have built-in shortcodes for everything, or a shortened block. So all you have to do is click plus, go to the My Accounts page. Okay, take a step back. LearnDash does not create a My Accounts page by default. So you're going to want to go to your site, make a My Accounts page, edit that page, and then add the LearnDash profile shortcode. You can add that with the shortcode directly, or you can use a block. If you're using a page builder, you can paste the shortcode into any page builder's actual system, widget, block, whatever they call it. If you're using Elementor Pro, because you need Pro to use the theme builder, you also gain access to the LearnDash widgets. So you can use LearnDash profile widget directly in Elementor now. So you would just add that to the profile, and when you add that to the profile, you automatically get this. If you're new and you've never seen our WordPress profile, and this is Dave, by the way. If anyone doesn't know Dave, he's in our Facebook group. He's very helpful, and he also owns a couple LearnDash plugins directly. I recommend them if you would like to increase the function or the ability to extend design elements. He's built a package of suites to tweak more things than what the default LearnDash gives you on formats, color, spacing, all types of design elements. And he's one of the most helpful users in the Facebook group. He gets a shameless plug for everything that he's done and helped. So you can see that it has our courses complete, how many points, if you're leveraging points or using gamification in your systems. It shows the courses you currently have, and you can expand them, continue the progress. All from this entire thing comes from this little shortcode. If you wanted to extend that more, this is the old shortcode, by the way, pre-WordPress LearnDash 3.0. This is the older profile view. Let me see if it's down here. I think it's down here. If not, it might be over in the shortcodes view. Yeah, I know I'm scrolling fast. I'll have links to both of these. So just so everyone sees links, it's the learndash.com/support/docs/guides/user profile. That will be in the finished slide deck. And then the other document that I'm looking at right now is learndash.com/support/docs/core/shortcode-blocks. And any of these blocks or shortcodes can be used throughout the site. Now, sometimes they won't work because if it needs course info, you might have to add an added variable, or if it's a or if it's a lesson and you're on a topic or a quiz, uh, they might not have that data there, so they're not going to work. But if that data is universal or that page supports that data, any of these shortcodes can be used anywhere. So if you would like to extend uh, your shortcodes or your My Account area, you can use the shortcodes. One thing that I want to point out, let's go back here to the My Profile. I don't know, back on the My Profile area, you see the Edit Profile link here. The Edit Profile link by default is going to take you to the WordPress admin. Just like any other area, it's going to keep all your navigation, all that are limited to the subscriber role, but it would redirect you there by default. That's using the default WordPress system like we talked about. I would recommend redirecting this or leveraging some other way to modify or edit your profile. Now, if you're selling with a membership plugin, they're going to have some feature or area for that. So I would redirect this link there. If you're using WooCommerce, I would redirect it to the WooCommerce active tab to edit your profile. Again, you can leverage this and extend this with advanced custom fields, or use one of the other plugins like Profile Builder Pro or Everest, as we talked about earlier. But you can even link it directly to a custom page, and you can use the filters here and the My Avatar tool to give the ability to modify and upload avatars from the front end. So you can use any of the tools and plugins we talked about today and continue to leveraging that. And what I was where I'm getting at with all this is this link automatically goes to the admin. However, we have a filter. In LearnDash, you can add this filter to your functions page in your child theme in a custom plugin that you have, or in a code snippet plugin that lets you add PHP. Again, if you're not familiar with PHP, please be very careful with this. Please test this in a test environment first with backups. But all this thing is doing is it's finding the edit user link and it's giving you the ability to swap it out. So you would add this to your functions, to your custom functions somewhere out of those options I just listed, and you would want to swap out this link to whatever the link is that you are going to be editing. Whether that be a Gravity Forms field or the WooCommerce My Accounts or a MemberPress login area somewhere, like just whatever URL that is, add it here, and this link will now take them there. Let's take a small step back too. When thinking about user profiles, and I'll probably end on this topic or this idea here. I'll review my notes and answer some questions if there's any. But one thing you want to take a step back, and this isn't just LearnDash. This is just my profile question in general. Is how will your users interact? What's the purpose of the My Profile area? Because sure, editing a profile from the front end is easier thing for your users to do, and you definitely want to remove that barrier of entry. You don't want to confuse them. Jumping to the WordPress admin can be daunting or confusing if you've never seen it before. So I definitely understand that, but you want to make sure that you're leveraging your My Accounts area for its greatest purpose itself. Meaning, is any elements of this, or is any point, or is there any part of the WordPress profile or the user profile that needs to be public? Are you sharing any of these things? Are you going to be leveraging any type of user interaction between themselves or the outside world? Should there be social features to be able to share it? Because that changes a lot of things too. Now, are we adding some type of third-party plugin that's going to manage some social interaction like BuddyBoss or BuddyPress? Are we including something like BB Press to manage forums. So now we have to also think about how that gets interacted and tied into our profile to make sure all those features are included. Do we have to worry about an activity feed or other courses that we're sharing? So all these things can actually be really useful or nice upsells, but there's things you want to think about and plan and not just jump in and start doing or layering a bunch of plugins on top of each other, because you might run into conflicts. They might not all be needed, or there might be a way simpler solution to what you're trying to accomplish. I would also look into conditional statements. This is a little bit far down the road. You might find an easier way of doing this, but if you are into theming or templating, you can write conditional logic around shortcodes or directly modify a template and show different elements for user type. So you can use a My Accounts area or a profile area to showcase your teachers, to showcase your staff, to showcase users and their levels and points and how much they contribute if you have some type of network or market or some type of like multi-site environment thing. So there's a lot of power outside of just learning to also help your users feel involved and treat it more like a community, if you will. Now, I would be careful with those and how far you want to go with start opening up to the public and how old your users are, the type of market you have there. Because if you have anyone that's too young on accident, you don't want to get in trouble for marketing to someone who's too young. If all your users are not necessarily in the US, you're going to run into some GDPR stuff with compliance and privacy. So just keep that stuff in mind as you're evolving and expanding features. But overall, there is a tremendous amount you can do and think about that you can take from a basic user profile to here's my courses to here's my courses, here's a note about upcoming live webinars, here's an upsell, here's my certifications I've already earned, and heck, maybe even an affiliate program that you can link out and give your users the ability to sell your courses for you, and they can track that through their dashboard or their My Accounts area. So for the most part, that's really all that I have. I'm going to review my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. But let's see if we have any questions. Someone asked, is there a way to show, Kate asked, is there a way to show expiration dates on current courses on My Accounts page? What would be, that would be a great client. Yeah, I think we can definitely offer that. So we'd want to look at shortcodes. And we can see if there's any type of like expiration. I say that there should be. If there's not, I know we could write something or make it. Like that type of function should be definitely possible. I also know there's timestamps. There's possibilities of like completing a course and things of that nature. So I'm going to keep looking, but I'm not 100% if there is, but there should be. And if there's not, someone should make it because that could be useful. If you were using something like WooCommerce to control your subscriptions, though, like that would be. So if you're talking like WooCommerce subscriptions or any other membership billing plugin, they're going to have a My Accounts area, and they're going to have a billing profile area or history area. I know WooCommerce subscriptions does. I know WooCommerce does itself. WooCommerce memberships also has that. And then I'll look for actual details, and then we'll post an answer in the Facebook group on that. I really like the idea of offering upsells, but not in a tacky way, because you can see like if they're already enrolled in certain courses and your users like a certain course, you can say, oh, you've liked these courses, we have a new one coming. And putting that in your footer below everything, or offering an upcoming like, we're starting a new enrollment process, because there's multiple ways to sell courses. Sometimes there's the always enrolled, always open on demand, and sometimes there's every 3 months I'm going to do a course, and we're starting from the beginning and releasing that. So depending on how you're selling your courses, the My Account area is a great tool for something like that. And also encouraging student progress is big. Like the courses are going to be there, and adding the continue the course button is big. Toggling the courses to be able to see where you are, that's big too. But using shortcodes, any profile shortcodes, any shortcodes that are here, you can encourage your users. Like, see the course not started? You could set up a LearnDash shortcode conditional logic with just the shortcodes, and have a message at the top of the header that says, "Oh, we see you haven't started your course yet," um, or "Hey, James, is there anything we can help you with? Or you're running out of time. The course is only open for 3 months. You haven't started yet." So you can use these conditional shortcodes in the top of or anywhere in your My Account area or anywhere on the site, and you can encourage your users to complete progress, to complete courses, to start courses. So all types of cool stuff you can do. I'm looking forward to the live stream where we can play with some of these options and develop out a fun looking My Accounts page that isn't so. I mean, what we currently have is nice, but it's fun to try something different. So that'll probably be next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I can keep going if there's any other questions, but because of the construction and everything else and my lack of preparedness, I apologize for all that. I do want to thank everyone for joining. If this webinar comes from the Facebook group, if anyone needs a webinar topic covered, would like a webinar topic covered, please reach out, please request it. We're trying to set this up so we can have a live schedule so everyone can start planning for it. We're looking at doing some other types of webinars. And in fact, I would love to start getting some user feedback and some polls where we can start doing some showcases from different types of e-learning courses. I would love to start interviewing some of our audiences and see what type of success they've had with LearnDash. I think that would be a lot of fun. So we're going to probably call it there. It's about 10 minutes early, but I really appreciate everyone's time. If you have any questions or follow-up, please feel free to ask them in the Facebook group. I'm going to clean up my slides for sure and post them. And I'm looking forward to next week where we can all hang out and actually do some live coding together. So thanks again for everyone who's joined us. I hope you have a great Thursday.